Hello YouTube! Welcome to another Swiss Army Knife tip and trick video. One of the most asked questions in my workshop is, Felix, what is this little hole on the reamer for? And this hole is for sewing. In this video I show you my sewing technique, I give you tips for a quicker success and better results, and with these tricks you should be able to improvise or repair something in the bushcraft, survival or another outdoor scenario. On YouTube you can already find a lot of videos who explain this sewing technique. I needed a lot of tries that I was successful. Sometimes it worked and sometimes not. And I didn't know why. Later in this video I show you the solution to this problem and I try to explain you this technique that you are successful at the first try. For a better visualizing of this technique, I sew together these two pre-holed pieces of cardboard with this paracord and I work without the reamer. So actually this technique works pretty much like a sewing machine. These are the two layers. Take one end, pierce through the two layers and pull on one end until both ends has about the same length. These ends have to be longer than the distance you want to sew. This is the working end and this is the loop end. Step 1 is take the loop end, create a loop like this, take the working end and go through this loop. Pull on both ends that the knot get tightened. Take the loop end, create a loop again, take the working end, go through this loop, pull on both ends, continue this technique until you are done. Before I demonstrate you the sewing technique with the reamer, I want to give you 3 tips for a better result. Tip number 1. If you pierce the material with the reamer, like this, you get always a very big hole. And this is super big in relation to a thread you normally use for sewing. This can be the reason that the seam doesn't hold well. My tip is, take the biggest thread possible who fits through the eyelet. This fill out the holes better and your seam will be more stable. Tip number 2. The threading the thickest cord possible through the eyelet can be very annoying. So my tip is, take a thinner cord, make like a little loop, go with the loop through the eyelet, open it, take the thicker thread, go through the loop, and now just pull on the loop. And it's done. Tip number 3. If you make the stitches in one line, every centimeter stitch, you have only few millimeters space between every stitch. But if you make the stitch in an angle like here, you have much more space between every stitch. So if the material you want to sew is not really strong, I would recommend the second technique. Now I want to show you the sewing technique with the reamer of a Swiss Army knife. If the cord is threaded through the eyelet, you have to make sure that both ends have about the same length. One end is on this side of the handle, the other end is on this side of the handle. The both ends has to be a bit longer than the length of the seam you want to make. I want to stitch together these two pieces. For this demonstration, it's the easiest to hold these two letters in the vise. So, now it's important to know that the cutting edge has always face in the stitching direction, and the nail groove is facing against you. Make this to your habit. First step is push the reamer through the two layers until the very end. Now pull back the reamer and you get a little loop. So grab this loop and pull through the cord. This end is the working end. Now pull back the reamer, go 1 centimeter in the stitching direction like this and push through the reamer until the very end. Then pull back the reamer, you get the loop, take the working end and go through the loop. Now pull back the reamer and tighten both ends like this. Then go 1 centimeter in the stitching direction, push through the reamer at the very end, pull back the reamer that you get this loop. Now to the fold I spoke at the beginning of the video. If you pull back the reamer, you get a loop on this side of the reamer and on the underside, on the underneath the reamer. Can you see that? And my thought was that I went through the loop underneath the reamer like this. And now look what happened. Pull back the reamer and now I'm trapped. Can you see that? I can't go on. So this was my mistake. So now the right way is push the reamer all the way through. Oops. Pull it back and go through the loop on the side who face against you. So the rule is, if the cutting edge face in the stitching direction and the nail groove face against you, never make something underneath the reamer. So, if the seam is finished, don't go through the loop with the working end, but grab the loop and pull the string through like this, and now you can make a knot here like this. So that's it for today. I hope this was interesting for you. In the next video I want to show you how to sew an anorak from an old wool blanket chest with a Swiss Army knife. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and see you next Friday again. Ciao!